Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs MCQs program. Let's begin with previous day's practice question first, which was consider the following statements regarding the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. First, it primarily focuses on trade tariffs and tariff rate quotas. Second, India has established CEPAs with South Korea and Japan. Which of the statements given above is/are not correct? Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, and option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is more extensive than an FTA, encompassing trade and services, investment, and broader economic cooperation. A CECA primarily focuses on trade tariffs and tariff rate quotas but is less comprehensive than a CEPA. India has signed a CECA with Malaysia, hence statement 1 is not correct. India has established CEPAs with South Korea and Japan, hence statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option A.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way with free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Let's begin with today's episode now. Question number 1. Consider the following statements. First, Article 20 Clause 1 prohibits convicting a person for an act that was not an offence when committed, disallowing retrospective punishment. Second, India is a signatory to International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Which of the statements given above is/are correct? Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, and option D, neither 1 nor 2. So the correct answer is option C. Custodial torture-related constitutional provisions are Article 14, which ensures equality before law, affirming that no one, including law enforcement agencies or officials, is above the law. Second, Article 21, which guarantees the right to life and personal liberty, which includes the freedom from torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Third, Article 20, Clause 1, which states that no person can be convicted for an act that was not an offence under the law at the time it was committed, thereby prohibiting excessive or retrospective punishment. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Fourth, Article 20, Clause 3, which protects an individual from being compelled to self-incriminate, safeguarding the accused from coerced or forced confessions through torture or pressure. International provisions, United Nations Charter 1945, which mandates that prisoners be treated with dignity, affirming that their fundamental rights and freedoms remain protected under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, which protects individuals from torture, cruel treatment, and enforced disappearances, ensuring the right to dignity and security. So the correct answer is option C. Question number 2. With the reference to the NALSA, consider the following statements. First, it is a statutory body established under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. Second, under this, legal services institutions have been established at all levels, ranging from Taluk courts to the Supreme Court. Third, NALSA launched the Veer Parivar Sahayata Yojana 2025, a nationwide legal aid scheme solely dedicated to soldiers. How many of the statements given above is/are correct? Option A, only 1, option B, only 2, option C, only 3, and option D, none. The correct answer is option B. NALSA is a statutory body established in 1995 under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, hence statement 1 is correct. It monitors and evaluates legal aid programs, ensuring legal services for eligible groups like women, children, SC, STs, EWS, industrial workers, persons with disabilities, and transgender individuals as per Section 12 of the Act. It has a tiered structure with legal services institutions established at every level from Taluk courts up to Supreme Court. Hence, statement 2 is correct. NALSA launched the Veer Parivar Sahayata Yojana 2025, a nationwide legal aid scheme dedicated to the soldiers, veterans, and their dependents. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. So, the correct answer is option B. Question number 3. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution provides for the readjustment of seats in the House of the People to the states and division of each state into territorial constituencies after every census? Option A, Article 82, option B, Article 83, option C, Article 84, and option D, Article 85. The correct answer is option A, Article 82, which provides for the readjustment of seats in the House of People to the states and division of each state into territorial constituencies after every census. Second, Article 83, which deals with the duration of Houses of Parliament. Third, Article 84, which deals with the qualification for membership of Parliament. Fourth, Article 85, which deals with sessions of Parliament, prorogation and dissolution. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question number 4. Consider the following statements regarding the United Nations Security Council. First, it comprises 5 permanent members with veto power and 10 non-permanent members elected by the United States General Assembly. Second, UNSC remains the only UN body whose decisions member states are obligated to implement under the UN Charter. Which of the statements given above is/are not correct? Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, and option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option D. United Nations Security Council, established in 1945 under the UN Charter, constitutes one of the UN's 6 principal organs entrusted with the primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security. The council comprises 15 members, including 5 permanent members, China, France, Russia, the UK and the US, who possess veto power, and 10 non-permanent members elected for 2-year terms by UN General Assembly. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Elections are held annually through a secret ballot requiring a 2/3 majority vote even when candidates are unopposed. The UNGC remains the only UN body whose decision member states are obligated to implement under the UN Charter. It comprises 5 permanent members with veto power and 10 non-permanent members elected by the UN General Assembly. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option D. Question number 5. With reference to the Election Commission of India, consider the following statements. First, it is not concerned with the elections to panchayats and municipalities in the states. Second, presently ECI consists of the CEC and 2 election commissioners. Third, members of the ECI have a fixed tenure of 6 years or up to the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. How many of the statements given above is/are correct? Option A, only 1, option B, only 2, option C, all 3, and option D, none. The correct answer is option C. Election Commission of India is an autonomous constitutional authority responsible for administering union and state election process in India. The body administers elections to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and state legislature assemblies in India and the offices of the president and vice president in the country. It is not concerned with the elections to panchayats and municipalities in the states. For this, the Constitution of India provides a separate state election commission. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The election commission shall consist of chief election commissioner and such number of the other election commissioners, if any, as the president may from time to time fix. Presently, it consists of CEC and 2 election commissioners. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The president appoints CEC and election commissioners as per the CEC and other ECs. They have a fixed tenure of 6 years or up to the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, the correct answer is option C. Question number 6. Consider the following statements regarding the Securities and Exchange Board of India. First, SEBI is a quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial body with powers to frame regulations, conduct inquiries, and impose penalties. Second, the Securities Appellate Tribunal is established to safeguard the interest of those affected by SEBI's decision. Which of the statements given above is/are correct? Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, option C, both 1 and 2, and option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The SEBI is a statutory body established in 1992 in accordance with the provisions of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992 to protect investors' interest and regulate securities market. Its headquarters are in Mumbai with regional offices in Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Chennai and Delhi. SEBI is a quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial body with powers to frame regulations, conduct inquiries and impose penalties. Hence, statement 1 is correct. SEBI board includes a chairman and other full-time and part-time members. SEBI forms committees as needed to address current issues. The Securities Appellate Tribunal is established to safeguard the interest of those affected by SEBI's decisions with a preceding officer and 2 members. Hence, statement 2 is correct. So, the correct answer is option C. Question number 7. Consider the following statements regarding the BRICS. First, BRIC began functioning as a formal group during the G8 Outreach Summit. Second, India was not among the original BRICS member but joined the group subsequently. Third, contingent reserve arrangement is among the key initiatives of BRICS. Which of the statements given above A/R correct? Option A 1 and 3 only, option B 3 only, option C 2 and 3 only, and option D 2 only. The correct answer is option A. The acronym BRIC was coined by British economist Jim O'Neill in 2001 to represent the emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. BRIC began functioning as a formal group during the G8 Outreach Summit in 2006, held its first summit in Russia 2009, and became BRICS with the inclusion of South Africa in 2010. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The initial 5 BRICS members were Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. In 2024, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Ethiopia joined the group, while Indonesia joined in 2025. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. BRICS amounts for 45% of the world's population and 37.3% of global GDP, surpassing the EU's 14.5% and the G7's 29.3%. Key initiatives of BRICS are New Development Bank 2014, Contingent Reserve Arrangement, BRICS Gain Exchange, BRICS Rapid Information Security Channel, STI Framework Program 2015, etc. Hence, statement 3 is correct. So, the correct answer is option A. Question number 8. Which of the following is a part of India's foreign exchange reserves? First, foreign currency assets. Second, gold reserves. Third, special drawing rights. And fourth, government bonds. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Option A, first and 2 only. Option B, first, second, and third only. Option C, first, third, and fourth only. Option D, first, second, third, and fourth. The correct answer is option B. Foreign exchange reserves are assets held on reserve by a central bank in foreign currencies, which can include bonds, treasury bills, and other government securities. It needs to be noted that most foreign exchange reserves are held in US dollars. India's forex reserve include foreign currency assets, gold reserves, special drawing rights, reserve trunk position with the International Monetary Fund. So the correct answer is option B. Question number 9 regarding the Trade Enablement and Marketing Initiative, consider the following statements. First, it has been launched under the Raising and Accelerating MSME Productivity Program. Second, the TEAM initiative is implemented by Small Industries Development Bank of India, which is SIDBI. Third, the initiative leverages the open network for digital commerce to promote e-commerce among MSMEs. How many of the above statements are not correct? Option A, only 1, option B, only 2, option C, only 3, and option D, none. The correct answer is option A. The TEAM initiative was launched on 27th of June 2024 as a sub-scheme under the World Bank supported RAM program, which is Raising and Accelerating MSME Productivity. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It is part of Ministry of MSME's broader strategies to enhance market access and digital enablement for micro and small enterprises. The implementing agency for the TEAM initiative is not SIDBI. Its implementing agency is the National Small Industries Corporation, a public sector enterprise under the Ministry of MSME. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The TEAM initiative leverages the open network of digital commerce to help MSMEs adopt digital commerce platforms and expand their market reach. Hence, statement 3 is correct. ONDC acts as a technical partner in the initiative. So, the correct answer is option A. Question number 10. Consider the following countries. First, Canada. Second, Australia. Third, Germany. Fourth, Japan. Fifth, Italy. And sixth, United Kingdom. How many of the above are the members of the G7? Option A, only 3. Option B, only 4. Option C, only 5. And option D, only 6. The correct answer is option C. The group of 7, which is G7, is an informal forum that brings together Italy, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. The European Union also participates in the group and is represented at the summits by the President of European Council and the President of the European Commission. The group was created for economic and financial cooperation following the 1973 energy crisis with the first summit held in 1975 in Rambouillet, France? So the correct answer is option C. It's the time for practice question. The report Financing Cities of Tomorrow is released by which of the following? Option A, World Bank. Option B, United Nations Human Settlements Program. Option C, International Monetary Fund. And option D, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Pin down your answers in the comment section below.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.